Suffering is just the busyness that our calendar is. I think we've all experienced that. If you start to get involved, pretty soon, you don't have as much free time anymore. There's just days that you wish you could just lay on the couch and not do anything after a long day of work. And instead, you go down to serve or to do this or to do that. And that's legitimate suffering. But suffering, I think, can also take all kinds of other forms. We see around the world and even here where suffering can come in the form of persecution and pain. Maybe it's alienation from your friends or family. I know for me, one way that I've really experienced suffering is maybe when I pour my life into people I really care about, that I get involved in their life. And when they start to suffer, I experience that suffering with them, right? It's so much easier just to put up our boundaries and say, this is my life and my family, and I'll care about you if you're in my bubble, but outside of my bubble, you're kind of on your own. But when we get involved in people's lives, when our faith begins to rub off on each other, it changes the way we see things. And we should expect suffering. But this suffering, it doesn't knock us back. In fact, this suffering propels us forward. It's the very calling we've been called to. It's what we're committed to, yet we know that in comparison to this great joy that we get to be a part of, the great plan that God is doing, that we can have great confidence because we know who we believe in. That we have this confidence knowing that even our suffering has context. And we've all experienced that, right? When we came to faith, we came with this emotion and this excitement and this passion. And then life goes on and that starts to kind of dwindle a little bit. We start to lose that fire, if you will. God has given us these spiritual gifts and he's calling us to fan into flame, to give it oxygen, let it breathe. And I think one of the best ways to fan the flame is to be a worshiper of God, to be overwhelmed with what God has done, to be excited about him, to be excited about the calling that we get to be a part of. See, I don't think fanning into flame is necessarily a checklist. It's not something that we can get up in the morning and kind of go, okay, to do that, I got to do this, this, and this. It's more emotional state. It's an encouragement. It's the kind of the excitement that we have in our life.